word romance mean to you? And is it, in your opinion, reserved for the very young? Let's go to the airport in New York. Just
What are all these people doing here? Don't they have homes?
How was your flight?
A horror. You know, the landing took 10 years.
Oh, hello, Doug.
Hi, Chris.
How are you?
Fine. We had good flight. Smooth as silk all the way, right on time.
Fine, I'm glad.
There was one funny thing that did happen, though, right after the takeoff.
Oh.
The stewardess was walking.
Doug, would you go to the magazine stand and get me a pack of cigarettes?
Oh, I think I have an extra pack on me.
I'd like a pack of gum, too.
Oh, here.
I'd also like a diamond-studded samovar. Now, let's see you produce one of those.
You want a what?
A samovar, you know, a big Russian tea urn. Got to be covered with diamonds. Now, go to the magazine stand and get me one, will you?
If you can spare me a moment, I'll go ahead and check on our luggage.
You're awfully rude.
I know.
But I was glad.
You know, 2 letters. 2 letters. That's all I got all the time I was away.
Well, I wrote more, but I didn't mail them.
Why not?
Oh, I don't know. It seems so puppy-lovish, you know, so adolescent somehow.
Oh, adolescent, she said.
Yeah.
You want to know something? I slept with those letters under my pillow.
Oh.
Me, Paul Belzer, middle-aged, supposedly of sound mind, sleeping with letters under his pillow.
Well, I did the same thing with your letters. Only my pillow was wet with tears every night.
What's happening to us, Chris?
We're just going through a stage. Actually, we're behaving like any two very normal, ordinary, middle-aged adolescents.
Let's go someplace in Neck.
Oh, it's Massey. No, nowadays they call it orbiting.
Let's go someplace in orbit. Orbit? That's almost as ridiculous as that word our parents used, smooching. Necking has character.
Well, we could always go over to my house and sort of sit around.
10 million kids watching us from the stairway. This is one adolescent likes a little privacy when he orbits.
I don't have 10 million kids.
7 million.
I suppose sometimes it does seem to you like there's 7 million, doesn't it?
I love your kids, Chris. Each and every one. But there are times when I want you to myself. This is one of those times. I need you, Chris, badly. Right now.
Something went wrong on the trip?
Everything went wrong. I blew a couple of deals a 5-year-old kid should have been able to have.
Oh.
Well, I've got to have you alone for a couple of hours. I want you to tell me what a wonderful man I am and what a shame it is the rest of the world doesn't appreciate me.
Will you promise to tell me lots of lies about how beautiful I am?
Lies? Oh.
I guess I better call the kids and tell them I'll be late, huh?
You know, I still don't know where we're going to do all this orbiting.
Well, I'd suggest a passion pit.
A what?
A fashion pit. Yeah, that's what us adolescents call a drive-in movie.
You know, I wonder if teenagers really pick up these hideous expressions or hire a firm on Madison Avenue.
Oh, silly. Give gun down. Thanks.
Paul, safe to join you again?
Oh, sure. Oh, you know, I'd like to have you take the limousine back into town. Mrs. Massey and I want to drive the car to the paddock. Well, that is to say, Mrs. Massey and I have plans for the evening, which may or may not include having my leg put in the cast.
Lately, I don't always know what you're talking about, Paul.
Well, that's all right, Doug. Lately, I don't always know what I'm talking about.
There, that's exactly what I mean.
Oh, he's just teasing you, Doug.
I am not. It's just that teenagers like me talk a different language than old folks like Doug.
That's right.
Right, Doug?
Right,
Oh, Ellen,
I think.
please.
Anyway, I'll put it in the car with the rest of the luggage.
Put what's in the car?
The diamond-studded samovar I'm about to buy at the magazine stand.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
I hope he's kidding.
Oh, I don't. I have always wanted a diamond-studded samovar.
Patty, how can you say that? I just can't believe it. How
Oh, there's your pickup. Goodbye,
You
sweetheart.
must have been
Oh,
mistaken.
Honey, Bingy forgot her lunch again. Take it.
I just don't believe it, Franny.
Ellen, why don't you start on the upstairs? I can
Well,
fix my
I'll
own breakfast.
ask her right now.
Just a minute. All right, sweetheart.
That was that meathead Franny Hazen.
Oh?
She said she saw you at the drive-in last night.
Well, you know, for once, that meathead Franny Hazen got something straight.
With a man.
Mr. Belzer.
You were kissing him.
I'm doing an excellent job of it, if I do say so myself.
Mother.
What's wrong?
What's wrong? Well, what was it? What if it was I at the drive-in orbiting with someone?
Well, honey, since you're only 13 years old, I would say, quote, your allowance is cut off for the next 40 years, unquote.
Oh, it's all right for you, but not for me.
Exactly. Oh, Judy, look, honey. You know, once in a while, I smoke a cigarette, And occasionally, I even take a cocktail. Now, can you see why you, at your age, is just not permitted to do either one of these things?
Well, yes, but I thought parents were supposed to set an example for their children.
They certainly are. And I think the best example I can set for you is to be an individual on my own. See? Be Christine Massey. Not just a faceless blob of do's and don'ts. Trying to live by a junior high set of rules in a grown-up world when I'm a grown-up woman. Now, do you understand?
Only some of it.
Oh. All right, then let's try it this way. When it comes time for you to make your own decisions about these things, oh, I only hope you'll orbit with a man as fine and wonderful as Mr. Belzer.
Mr. Belzer's so old.
Is he? You ask Franny Hazen.
All confused.
There's Mrs. Reagan, honey. You better hurry.
Okay, Mom.
We can talk more about this tonight if you want to, dear.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Bye.
Bye, Mom.
Good girl. Oh.
Mrs. Massey to see you.
Ask her to come in.
Would you like me to go out and buy something for you? Mink-lined bathtub stoppers? A samurai
Hello,
sword? Hello, Chris.
Hello.
No, you better stick around. You know, we've got our work cut out for us if we're going to salvage anything out of that London fiasco.
Oh. I have an article I wrote while you were away.
Fine. Well, lady, you just made a sale.
No, Paul. Now, look, I want my writing judged on its own merits, not just because we're friends.
Well, if you insist on being ethical, I'll have Doug look it over.
I do.
Doug, look it over.
Okay.
Well?
I say buy it. I'm no fool.
Well, that's why I pay him an enormous salary. There's a man that's not afraid to make decisions on his own.
No, I don't want it that way, Paul. Please.
All right. Send it through channels.
Thank you.
Oh, and Doug, tell the entertainment editor there's a motion picture I think should be plugged for this year's Academy Awards. It's called Showdown at Dead Man's Pass.
Nothing is called Showdown at Dead Man's Pass.
Well, it may sound like a cheap Western to you, but I've never spent a more enjoyable evening.
Thank you.
Never even heard of it. Did you see it, Chris?
Yes, twice.
Twice. What's it about?
I didn't notice.
I think this entire organization should take a course in semantics, so at least we'd all have an inkling what the others are talking about.
You're right, I agree.
Well, I'll get it. Yes?
Mr. Danko on line 1.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Danko. Doug Campbell here. Well, sir, he's in a story conference right now. Well, yes, sir. All right, just a moment, please. Paul, he insists on talking to you.
Who?
Mike Danko.
Hello, Mike. How are you? Yeah, the whole trip was kind of a bust. I'd like to get together with you as soon as possible. How are you fixed for right now? Fine, I'll be right over. Sorry, Chris.
Oh, it's all right, I understand.
Duty call.
Yes, I know that. That's all right. Don't worry about it.
I'd like to have you continue on with that bathing suit campaign along the same lines we talked about this morning. And if anything important comes up, well, I'm at Bike's office.
Right.
Lunch on Saturday?
Well, yeah, I'll call if I can make it, yes.
Well, call me anyway, please.
Of course.
Somehow I feel I should be playing a violin.
Oh, shut up.
Goodbye.
Getting kind of serious between you two, huh?
Oh, yes. I'm getting seriouser all the time, too.
When do the wedding bells chime?
Well, we haven't set a definite date yet.
Well, then may I suggest an early one? Not later than, say, 3 o'clock this afternoon?
Why? What's the big rush?
This magazine's the big rush. Now, Paul wasn't himself in London, and now I begin to see why.
What do you mean?
Chrissy needs you around when his confidence gets shaken.
That's very flattering of you, but I...
How would you like to honeymoon on a trip around the world?
Oh, you dreamer. You...
No, I'm serious.
Oh.
No, Paul has a week scheduled in Tokyo, and then he goes to Cairo and Rome for the spring fashion shows and interviews with various heads of state for our Know Your Ally series. Then
God,
he goes to...
hold on a minute. I couldn't possibly do all that traveling if that's what you're suggesting.
Oh, you'll get used to it in time. And Paul needs you.
Well, no, I don't mean that only. I mean that, well, Dougie's not the only one who needs me. I mean, well, he'll be needing me in Tokyo or Timbuktu or Venice or wherever else it is. I have 7 children in Ellendale, Connecticut, who will also be needing me.
Well, it was only a suggestion.
Yes. Well, thanks anyway, Doug, huh?
You're welcome. Bye.
No, Judy, you know, romance is something that no one is ever too old for. Now, you take Mayor Schofield and his wife. Well, they've been married over 60 years, and would you believe it? Last Sunday, I saw them in the park holding hands.
Boy, what I'd give to see them orbiting at the drive-in.
Stop it. You know, there's a lot more to romance than just kissing. Indeed, there is. It's much deeper. It's much more thoughtful and understanding and considerate. Well, it's wanting desperately to make the one you love happy. Wanting to be with him all the time.
Is that the way you and Mr. B feel?
Yes.
Well, then, why don't you get married and so you can spend all your time together?
Well, it isn't as simple as that. You see, each of us has demands that we have to meet.
Well, he's got the magazine, sure, but what about you?
Oh, well, believe it or not, I have my responsibilities, several of them. Now, look, honey, I think you better go along to bed, okay?
Okay, Mom. Good night.
Sleep well, honey.
I'd still like to see Mr. and Mrs. Schofield orbiting at the drive-in. I'd even pay double admission.
Go to bed.
Well, I think I'll go for the oysters en brochette.
I hope your ulcers go for the oysters en brochette.
My ulcers up and disappeared the moment my O&O called me for a lunch date. Oysters and Waldorf salad.
Very good, monsieur.
Oh, aren't you going to ask me what O&O is?
All right, Mr. Bones. What's an O&O?
Well, it's what we teenagers call our one and only.
Oh.
And you're just about the prettiest one and only any red-blooded American boy ever had.
Paul, you know, we've not only been talking like adolescents, but we've been acting like them, too.
Yeah, great, isn't it?
Now, stop that. I want you to be serious.
All right, dear O&O.
Yes.
Mike Danko is expecting us for dinner next Friday night.
Oh, well, I'm afraid I can't make it.
But you've got to. It's a command performance for me. Old Bascom Beebe will be there.
Paul, I am sorry.
Please, Chris. I've been counting on you to charm my eminent backer into calling off his dogs. But they've been snapping at my heels ever since that fiasco in London.
I see, but it's just that I've already promised the girls that they can have some friends in on Friday night, and...
Well, why do you have to be there?
Well, for one thing, I don't believe in unchaperoned teenage parties.
Well, can't you ask some of the other parents to keep an eye on things?
Well, that's not the idea, though, you see. I mean, after all, it is my responsibility. They're my children, and it's my home, and...
It isn't just next Friday night, is it, Chris? Better say it.
Paul, we're not kids. We're grown-ups. And grown-ups live in a world that is not full of just fun and silly talk and full moons. It's... Well, I mean, I can't be expected to just disregard my duty to my children, now, can I?
Nobody's asking you to. Now, I'm admittedly green at this marriage business. From observing my friends, why, a good wife is automatically a good mother.
Doug told me about all the traveling that was in store for you, Paul. And I just don't see how I can be a good mother to my children in Ellendale, Connecticut, and at the same time be a good wife to you, traveling halfway across the world. I just don't see it.
I know you. You'll figure it out.
I know me, too. And I can only do just so much, Paul.
Darling, in about a minute, I'm going to beg you to marry me. Beg you.
Don't, please don't. If you do, I'll cry right here in front of everybody.
Well, then go ahead and cry. Because out you, there's nothing. It's empty. An empty paper bag.
No, please don't. Paul, it's Saturday, and I promised the kids I'd be home early. I've got to go.
Not until we've talked this out.
Please, let me go. When I'm with you, I can't even think straight. It's all right. I'll call you later. Bye.
Chris, wait.
Maria? Maria, how many times have I told you when you stop letting television to turn it off? Maria? Ellen? Judy? Vicky? Pinky? Somebody? Anybody? Nobody. Don't panic, you dope. Somebody's hurt. Now, what would they do? Emergency hospital. Operator, I want emergency, please. No, never mind. Kids? No, Mrs. Massey, it's me. Ellen? Yes? Ellen, where have you been?
I went over to visit Hazel.
Well, how long have you been gone?
Well, not more than an hour.
But where are all the kids? I can't find anybody.
Well, I don't know. They were here when I left.
Look, do you know that there's a window broken in Judy's room and there's blood all over the floor? And oh, where have you been? How many times have I told you not to leave this house without leaving me a note? Now, why do you do that?
There wasn't time.
What do you mean there wasn't time?
We had to get her to the hospital.
Who? Which one was it?
Judy, the emergency hospital.
Oh, Judy. Honey. Oh, sweetheart, are you all right?
Oh, sure, but a little while ago I had so much glass sticking out of me, I looked like a Christmas tree.
Oh, honey. Come over here and sit down. I want to take a look at you. All right, now tell me. Oh, how did it happen?
Oh, well, Vicky cleaned my window so good that I stuck my head right through it thinking that it was open. Surprise!
Oh, now listen, there's no laughing matter. You could have put your eye out. Did any glass get in it?
No, it just missed. The doctor said I was very lucky.
So you were. Well, that does it. Now, no more trips to the city for me. From now on, I'm staying right here where I belong.
I thought we handled the situation fairly well.
Oh, you did, dear, you did. You did everything exactly right. I only meant that, well, I intend to be right here from now on to see that this sort of thing doesn't happen again. That's all.
You mean you're going to follow her around all day saying, Judy, don't stick your head through that window pane? That'd get kind of boring.
Oh, don't be fresh now.
Yeah, and how are you going to keep an eye on all 7 of us at once?
Remember the time I tripped over Maria's skates and broke my collarbone? Well, you were right in the next room, but how could you have prevented it?
So anytime you want to go to New York, go ahead. We'll be okay.
It seems to me you're all awfully anxious to get me out of this house somehow.
Oh, no, Mother, that's not it. It's just that, well, we like to see you happy, and whenever you go to New York to see Mr. Belzer, you come back kind of beamish.
Oh, I see. Look, how would you feel if instead of New York, it would be, for instance, Central Africa? I mean, if I marry Mr. Belzer, you know, I have to do a lot of traveling with him, and he goes to all sorts of places all over the world for political information and research and fashion shows.
Oh,
and,
Mother, really?
You know.
A fashion show in Africa?
Look, I had the feeling that none of you would miss me at all.
Oh, sure we would. Even more than we miss Marnie when she's away at school. But, you know, I bet Marnie misses us too, but that doesn't keep her from enjoying life. Or us neither.
Either. Judy, are you sure you're all right?
Oh, Mother, stop fussing. The doctor said that all Judy's cuts are minor, and there's not a thing to worry about. Not a thing.
Yes. Well, in that case, I think I'll just go on back into the city.
Now, Mother?
Yes, honey, right now. There's something very important that I would like to talk over with Mr. Belzer. Paul, come on, you can drive me in.
Oh, Mom. Give him a kiss for me, too.
Oh, of course, sweetheart. And be careful, for heaven's sake.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye, Mom.
Bye. Bye, Mama. Have a nice time in Central Africa.
You can go home, Doug. You don't have to stick around.
It's not Doug.
Chris.
Paul.
Anything wrong?
Oh, here you and I have a great big fat disagreement, and you're not even gallant enough to go out and drown your sorrow.
Well, I thought about it, honest. No, but with an ulcer and all, it's kind of hard to drown your sorrows in skim milk. I went to work on this instead.
What's this? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Well, it's a letter to you proving irrefutably that to be a good mother, you don't have to spend 24 hours a day with your children.
I'm already convinced.
Now, think of all the women that have to spend all day on the job. What?
I said I'm already convinced.
Oh, excuse me, Chris. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt anything?
No.
Oh, I just want to study up on that Gottlieb data.
It's over there on the top shelf.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Surely.
I wonder whatever gave him the idea. He was hired as a chaperone.
You mustn't blame him. After all, this is supposed to be a business office.
If he doesn't get out of here and leave us alone pretty soon, I'm going to bang my head against that wall and cry like a baby.
He won't be long.
Oh, yes, he will.
Oh.
He's conscientious.
Hmm.
Lord, deliver me from conscientious employees.
Well,
Oh, by the way, I don't know how to thank you two for recommending Showdown at Dead Man's Pass. I saw it last night. And in my humble opinion, it's the most atrocious movie ever made.
is it still playing?
Another 3 days, I regret to say.
You want to see it again?
Oh, boy.
If we left right now and got a bite on the way, we could get there real early.
Well, get your hat.
Well, why is it important to get there early?
Man. You're strictly from Squaresville.
Yes.
Now, why is it stupid to ask why in such a hurry to see a perfectly hideous picture for the third time?
Well, it's very simple, Doug, really.
It is?
Yes, you see, we just don't want to miss the coming attractions. Goodbye, Doug. To live happily and effectively, you must be a participant, not a spectator. Well, good night, and we'll see you next week.